Lucca sat at the desk in his home office, running his hands through his hair and trying to take deep breaths. The image of her had yet to leave his mind. His fingers still itched to trace her gorgeous markings. He wanted her, regardless of her age, and nothing is going to stop me. He had very seldom wanted anything in his life. The first had been becoming a made man, and the second had been becoming the underboss. Both things he had accomplished at a very young age. Being just 26 years old, he was the youngest underboss in the history of the Caruso family, and had become made at the age of 17, which was also the youngest anyone in the family had ever been made. What he had done to become made was something that would send most grown men to the psych ward, but not Lucca. Lucca was born with a dark side. He had realized at a young age he wasn't like the rest of the world. The only emotions he ever felt were when he caused pain. At first, it didn't take much, just simply pinching another kid until he cried. It brought him joy and contentment. Slowly through the years, though, he needed more and more to bring those feelings back. Now, 26 years later, he was a full-blown monster, craving nothing but blood and chaos. Turning on his computer, he searched the internet, putting in the name that called to him. When an image of her popped up, his heart began to hum in his chest. It was a picture of a much younger her, the scars much fresher, bright red, and unlike the faint pink he had seen today. To put it simply, they looked gruesome on her perfect porcelain face. Zooming in, he gripped the mouse tighter, seething with pure anger. He knew all too well they were caused by a knife. The cuts were clean and precise, at a calculated depth to cause immense pain in those sensitive areas and to scar her for life. Whoever the fuck touched her better be dead. Going back to the search, he looked for who had marked her, but the only thing that came up was a car wreck from 3 years ago. Reading the old newspaper article, he found out that her father, Maxwell Masters, was the one behind the wheel that night, and that her scars were blamed on the windshield glass breaking and hitting her in the face. Bullshit. Lucca went back to the photo of Chloe, now zooming out to reveal her father getting sworn in as the mayor of Kansas City, Missouri. Not a single scratch was on him, confirming what he already knew. The thirst for blood now coursed through his veins. He was going to do anything and everything to find out what had happened to her. Anyone who had anything to do with it would be buried 6 feet under by the time he was done. Looking at her bitch of a father and mother, he had a feeling the list was going to be quite long. They will all die. He went back to his search of her, wanting to learn everything he could. Seeing a much more recent picture of her at some function, he stared at the image, his heart humming even louder, somewhat satiating his bloodthirst. Fuck, he wanted her more than he had wanted to be made or become the underboss. His gut twisted at thinking about how long he was going to have to wait for her to become 18. He wasn't sure how he was going to keep himself from taking her, unused to these strong feelings. Her tortured eyes seemed to be screaming at him to save her, only making his urges worse.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.